in my last episode, I talked about Igbo not being Igbo culture fully. And there are a lot of comments, a lot of reaction. And I think if you watched the part one, if you not watched the part one, you can still watch the part one. There are a lot of things we discussed in the part one. How, I don't want to repeat a lot of them. If you want to watch that one, you can go watch it. How the Warren chiefs, the white people came in with the Warren chiefs. And then those Warren chiefs, when they left, they became like traditional rulers. That is in the southeast. I don't want to repeat myself so much that one. Now, there are exceptions in Igbo land. There were some communities that actually had kingship system. Some of them have the history of like these things were brought from the neighboring, like the Onitsha, which has been adjudged to be from Bini. Now, there is the Uzu, Eze Uzu in Oka. There is the Ezenre and the Aro Confederacy. These are like 4 or 3 of the notable kingship system in the southeast. In Igbo land, not actually southeast. Now, there are a lot of things people don't know that in Igbo land, you have the northern Igbo, the east, the west, you understand, and the south. Like Enugu and part of Abakaliki and some part of Oka, they are in some part of Anambra, they are in the northern Igbo. Those who are bordered, like part of Enugu state now, people they call the Wawa people, and then part of Ebonyi is the Abakaliki guys into those gorgeous. So, particularly in the northern Igbo, there is no kingship system ever existed in the history of the Igbo culture. But somewhere close to the downside of the Niger, that is the Onitsha people. But there's something very interesting about the Obi of Onitsha kingship. Now, in Igbo, you see, the Obi, when you talk about Obi in Igbo means like a man's living room or sitting room, what you call it. But I don't think the living room actually captures the meaning of, the true meaning of like the Obi in Igbo language. Now, in some part of the Enugu is called Obu. Like Obu means it's a kind of a place of authority for like the fathers. Like in the olden days, is actually attached, is normally attached to the man's own living house or living where he lives. You know, they normally build huts for the wives, and then he has a separate place where he stays. And then sometimes, if there's a family meeting or he wants to talk to the wives, they come to the sitting room, which is the Obu. And that's where decisions are taken. And now there are different levels of like the Obi, what they call it, the Onitsha. Now you can have the immediate family, like in African tradition, and the immediate family, we have the father and mother, you can have the living room there. Then if you get to the clan, which is the Umunna, they also have like the eldest person, which is what is practiced in most of like 90% of the Igbo culture. That is actually the Obi of like the clan, which is mostly like the eldest person in the clan, which is in the northern Igbo called the Onyishi. That's under Obu. Then the general community also will have the eldest person. There's another kind of Obi there. Now, if you watch the Obi of Onitsha, the Obi there does not even refer to a person. The Obi refers to maybe the living room. That is like a connection. It's something like the center point, like the intersection of the Onitsha people. That's what it should be. Not even, because Obi does not actually refer to maybe a name of a king. No. It's like, maybe, I can just say, let me just paraphrase, like the interception of the Onitsha people. No, let me say where they live, where the Onitsha people have like a symbol of authority, where they meet, where they take decisions and have maybe legislative conversations or, administrative. But that is just it. Then Ezenre, also from in Anambra State, also an established that has been there for over like 1,000 years or so, the history of that one, and then the Aro people also. Now, but majorly in the southeast, the kings did not actually. This I'm telling you are just few of the southeastern communities that had this. Then majority of them did not have the kingship system. And now, I think in Enugu there was something called the Onyama and all those Onyamaneke and all those things. And Onyamaneke, they were all the invention of the British, and they've actually gone, and nobody else replaced that Onyamaneke. Then there's one particular thing, like somewhere in Igbos and all local government, that is Enugu Ezike, where the warrant chief became a female. And that has been recorded as the first female traditional ruler in the whole of the Africa. It was very, 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 very. It was not an easy stuff in the community, but the woman actually ruled until she decided to get her own masquerade, and I was when she had problem with the elders in the community.